In this video, I'm going to discuss with you, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to classes and objects, and then I will be discussing with you about comments. So this is one more important concept in Java. So I will be giving you a brief introduction to what do you mean by single line comment and what do you mean by multi-line comment. So firstly, I am going to discuss with you about classes and objects. So whenever you consider any kind of programming language, for example, Java is a programming language, so everything is based on classes and objects. So a class is a template, an outline or a sketch. So from which many instances of that type can be created, they are called as objects. So from this picture, you can understand. So what do you mean by a class and what do you mean by an object? Say for example, I have a class called person class and it has got some unique attributes and methods. So attributes or data members, they describe the person class and behaviors are represented in the form of methods. For example, whenever you want to construct any building, say for example, I want to construct some factory or you want to construct some restaurant. So I want to know how many floors are present in the building, or I want to know so how many rooms are present. So everything is based on classes and objects. So a class is nothing but a template, an outline or a sketch. So whenever I'm going to discuss with you about Java, so everything is based on classes and objects. Clear with this? For example, I have a class called person class and I have some attributes, data members and behaviors are represented in the form of methods. Clear with this? So everything is based on classes and objects. It's based on the OOPS concept. So as I was telling you, right, so Java is a programming language. It is based on OOPS concept, object oriented programming systems, OOPS concept. So whenever I'm going to discuss with you about Java or Python, so any other type of programming language, so everything is based on classes and objects. For example, I have a class called person class. Instances of the type can be created. So whenever I have a class, any class called person class, so it has got some attributes and behavior is represented in the form of methods. So data members, you can see here, every type of person. So whenever you want to, you can imagine virtually, you can imagine what do you mean by classes and objects. So this is one important concept in Java. What do you mean by a class? And what do you mean by an object? So this is one important concept in Java. Whenever I'm going to consider any person class, so he is going to have some name. So each and every type of person, so attributes are represented in the form of data members. He has got some unique name, age of a person, city, gender. So attributes are represented in the form of data members and behavior is represented in the form of methods. For example, a person can eat, he can study, sleep, play. So all these are the different behavior. It is represented in the form of methods. Clear with this? So many instances of that type can be created. John is one person and Desi is one more person. For example, John, he can have age, city, gender. So Desi, she is having some name, age, city and then gender. So everything, many instances of that type. For example, whenever I want to construct some factory or whenever I want to build some restaurant. So you can imagine. So whenever I want to construct some factory or whenever I want to build some restaurant. So you can imagine I am going to prepare some plan from which many instances of that type can be created. So they are called as objects. So person, a generalized template. So person or a human being, so whatever you can consider. So you can just imagine. So each and every type of programming language, it has got its own unique features. So whenever I'm going to consider this Java, so each and every person, so he has, there is a class called person class. Each and every type of person, he has got some unique ID. So attributes are represented in the form of data members and behavior is represented in the form of methods. So each and every type of person, so he has got a name, age, city, gender. So all these are the different attributes. It is going to describe a person. And what are the different actions? Behavior is represented in the form of methods. A person can eat, he can study, he can sleep, he can play. So all these are the different types of behaviors. It is represented in the form of methods. So John is one object. Many instances of that type can be created. So once I have created a person class, so many instances of that type can be created. So John is one person and Daisy is one more person. So John, he can have a name and he is having some age. So what is the age of a person and the city he is residing in, whether he is a male person or a female person. And Desi is one more person. So what is the name of the person? So this is one more instance of this person class. So many instances of that type can be created. They are called as objects. So she is going to have some age. So in which city she resides in and what is the gender of the person? She is a female person. Clear with this? So what do you mean by classes and objects? So this is the corresponding syntax. Whenever I want to create any new class, I have to use the class keyword followed by the name of the class. So prepended by the corresponding access modifier. So I can go for public access modifier, I can go for private, I can go for different access modifiers. So inside this, I am having a method called drink method, public void drink method. And system.out.println drinking milk, this will be printed at the output. And I am coming inside public static void main string of space args. The argument is passed as a string array. Person p1 equal to new person. So I am trying to create an instance of this person class. And string name. For example, whatever is the name of the person, I am going to print this person name and p1 dot, I am calling this method called drink method. So whenever I want to access any of the member functions using this object, using dot operator, I have to call the corresponding member functions. So I am just calling this method called drink method. Clear with this? So what do you mean by classes and objects? So whenever I am going to discuss with you about Java, so everything is based on classes and objects. Clear? So let me just show you a simple example of this so you will understand this better. Say for example, I am having this. One minute. So already I have discussed with you how to create a new project in Java. So all these are the different options. I can go for file option, I can go for edit, view, navigate, source, refactor. So all these are the different options available in my NetBeans IDE. Whenever I want to create any new project, so I can go for file option and there is an option called new project option. So inside this, I have the source package. All these are the different packages. Once I'm going to create any Java application, so all these are the different packages that are present in my test project. So I have a source package, I have test package, libraries, test libraries. So whenever I want to create any new class, just right click this and there is an option called new option. I am going to create a new Java class. So whatever is the class name, I need to give the corresponding class name. Say for example, I am going to show you a simple example. I'm giving here as class example. So after typing the class name, I'm just clicking the finish button. Let me just increase the font size. So whenever I want to increase some font size, I can go for options. I'm going to increase my font size. So inside this, I'm giving here public static void main string of space args. The argument is passed as a string array. So inside this, I am giving a class called public class example. I am creating a method called drink method. Public void drink method. So system dot out dot println. So I am just giving here as drinking milk. Clear with this? So whatever is the class name, I am giving here as class example. So whenever I want to print, so all these are called as data members. So for example, I am giving here whatever is the name of the person class. So I am giving here as Ramya. And it is terminated by a semicolon. And whenever I want to create some instances of this class, for example, I am giving here as SG. Clear with this? So I am trying to create an instance of this class. And whenever I want to call any of this method, so I am just calling this drink method. So whichever member functions methods I want to call using this object sd using dot operator, I am just calling this drink method. Just right click and there is an option called run file option. So I am just going to print this message drinking milk. This will be printed at the output. Whenever I want to create an instance of this class type, so I have to use the class name followed by the object. Say for example, I am trying to create an object of this class type. So whenever I want to create any new object, I have to use the new keyword followed by the name of the class. And using this object using dot operator, I am just calling this drink method. So drinking milk, this will be printed at the output. Similarly, if I want to display the name, so you can just give out the corresponding sysout function. So system dot out dot print ln. So I am going to print the name. Say for example, I am giving here as name. So this name will be printed at the output. Clear with this? So what do you mean by a class and what do you mean by an object? Just take down this exercise. Find the error in the following code. Just take down this exercise. Find the error in the following code. Just take down this exercise. Find the error in the following code. So next I'm going to discuss with you about comments. So far I gave you a brief introduction to classes and objects. Next I'm going to discuss with you about comments. So what is the use of comments? So I can go for different types of comments. I can go for single line comments or I can go for multi-line comments. So I have different types of comments. So firstly, I'm going to discuss with you about comments. So what is the use of comments? They provide a brief description about my Java code. So whatever that piece of code is doing, whatever that line of code is doing, so the comments, they provide a brief description about my Java code. So comments can be added to a particular part of the program so that that part will not execute it while executing another part of the program. Clear? For example, whenever I am building some bigger applications, so what is the use of this kind of comments? So whenever I am building some bigger applications, so I want to know, for example, I am defining some user defined function. So what is the use of different types of user defined functions? So what is the use of this function? For example, I'm going to compute the annual salary of an employee. So I am giving the use of this function computes the annual salary. When I'm building some bigger websites, when a third person is going to come, so whenever he is going to see the comments, he can easily understand. Clear with this? So what is the use of comments? They provide a brief description about my Java code. So the comments, they can be added to a particular part of the program so that that part will not get executed while executing another part of the program. So that is the main use of going for this comments. So it improves the readability of my entire code. So I can go for different type of comments. The one is called as a single line comment and one more is called as a multi-line comment. So based on my requirement, I can go for different type of comments. Clear with this? So single line comment, you can add a comment at the beginning or you can add a comment at the end. Say for example, this is an example of example comment. So I'm adding some comment at the beginning. So I'm just printing my first comment. So this will be printed at the output. So whenever I want to add a comment at the end, so it is prepended by 2 forward slashes. Clear with this? A comment can be added at the beginning or it can be added at the end. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment or I can go for multi-line comment. So let me just show you a simple example of comments. So I am giving here. So whatever is the class name, I need to give the corresponding class name. And in which project, say for example, under this test project, I am going to create this class, comment example. So I am just creating this class. Clear with this? So I need to provide the location. So wherever I want to place this comment, so I need to provide the entire location where I have to place this comment. So I need to provide the entire location. If I want to place this comment at this specific location, so I want to provide the entire location where I have to create this comment. So I am giving the class name as comment example. And after doing this, I need to click the finish button. And public static void main string of space args. The argument is passed as a string array. So whenever I want to print out something, say for example, I am saying here, whatever is I am saying, this is my first comment. So I am giving the comment as this is my first comment. So you can add a comment at the beginning or you can add a comment at the end. So whenever I want to add any type of comments, it is prepended by 2 forward slashes. So I can add some comment at the beginning or I can add some comment at the end. It is prepended by 2 forward slashes. So inside this, I am just giving here. So welcome to Java programming. So I am typing the message as welcome to Java programming, or you can say welcome to Java programming masterclass. So whatever you want, you can just type in this message. So I am just giving here system.out.println. So I am just saying welcome to full stack Java full stack. So I am just saying here welcome to Java full stack. So I am saying comment at the end. Clear with this? So this is how I can add some comments in Java. So the commented part is prepended by 2 forward slashes. So I'm just saying this is my first comment. So whenever I want to print out something, for example, system.out.println, I am saying within double quotes, welcome to Java full stack. I am adding some comment at the end. Clear with this? So comments, they just provide a brief description about my Java code. The commented section will be ignored by the machine. So the machine, they are not going to hear this commented section. So inside this commented section, so whatever is there, so this will be printed at the output. So I can add some comment at the beginning, or I can add some comment at the end. So it is prepended by 2 forward slashes. Whenever I want to add some comment at the beginning, it is prepended by 2 forward slashes. Or whenever I want to add some comment at the end, so it is prepended by 2 forward slashes. Clear with this? So I can go for, based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment, or I can go for multi-line comment. Till this spot, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Till this spot, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for Java Full Stack Internship Program, JFSMC2. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for Java Full Stack Internship Program, JFSMC2. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. So once you are going to attend this full stack masterclass program, so you will be learning the basics of HTML. What do you mean by HTML? And I will be discussing with you about SQL, so how to use, how to interact with the database. and how to connect Java with the database. Finally, I will be building some full stack web applications using Java. And I will be giving you a brief introduction to React.js. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for Java Full Stack Internship Program JFSMC2. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. So firstly, I just gave you a brief introduction to single line comment. So next I'm going to discuss with you about multi-line comment. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment, multi-line comment or documentation comment. So there are three different types of comments available in Java. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment, or I can go for multi-line comment, or I can go for documentation comment. So what do you mean by multi-line comment? So if I want to add more than one comment, so it is represented by slash, asterisk and asterisk slash. So Java cannot see anything written between slash, asterisk and asterisk slash. Clear with this? So it can have more than one line of comment. For example, welcome to India will be printed at the output. So whenever you can imagine, so what is the use of single line comment? For example, I am having some function. Say for example, I am going to initialize two variables. So what is the use of comment? So when I am building some bigger applications, you can imagine I am going to develop several JSP pages, Java server pages. And I am going to develop some servlets. So I have different things in my system. So I am going to develop some servlets. I need to connect with the database. So you can imagine, so what is the use of single line comment and what is the use of multi-line comment? So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment or I can go for multi-line comment. This is one simple example of multi-line comment. So whenever I want to enclose any comment, so it should be prepended by slash, asterisk and asterisk slash. So this is one example of multi-line comment. So you can see here. Firstly, I am initializing two variables and I am going to add the variables. Clear with this? So what is the use of single line comment and what is the use of multi-line comment? So whenever I want to comment anything, so it should be prepended by slash, asterisk and asterisk slash. Say for example, whenever I want to create any new class, so I have to give the class name followed by the location where I have to place this class and in which project. So under this class name, I need to provide the corresponding class name. And under this project, I am giving here as test project. And location. So wherever I have to place this class, I am giving here as source packages. Created file. So where I want to place this class, I am giving here as location. So under which location I need to place this class. After providing all these details, I am just clicking the finish button. One minute, let me just show you a simple example of comments. So I am trying to illustrate this multi-line comment. Firstly, I just gave you a brief introduction to single line comments. So next I am going to discuss with you about multi-line comments. I am sorry, I am not able to. 1 minute. So inside this, I am creating a main method. So inside this, for example, I am just creating a main method. Public static void main string of space args. I am going to initialize two variables. And then add the variables. So multi-line comments, they are prepended by slash asterisk and then asterisk slash. And then I am initializing two variables. Say for example, I want to add these two variables a plus b. And then I am going to print this at the output. System.out.println c. This will be printed at the output. Clear with this? So this is an example of multi-line comments. So you can imagine, so where I have to go for single line comments or where I have to go for multi-line comments. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment or I can go for multi-line comment. Whenever I want to create any new class, I have to use the class keyword followed by the name of the class. It is prepended by the corresponding access modifier. I can go for private access modifier. I can go for public access modifier. So it is prepended by different types of access modifiers. And inside this, I am creating a main method, public static void main. The argument is passed as a string array, string of space args. Clear with this? Say for example, I am giving here, I am initializing two variables, a equal to 10, b equal to 20 and c. So just by looking at this comment, I can understand. So what this piece of code is going to do, I am going to initialize two variables and then I am going to add the variables. Clear with this? So whenever I am building some bigger applications, you can understand. So where I have to go for example, I want to know. So when I'm defining some user-defined functions, so I'm going to compute for example, students' evaluation. So what is the total marks obtained by a student in different departments? I'm going to define some user-defined function. So what are all the variables I'm using? So what is the use of that function? So whenever based on my situation, you can imagine. So where I have to go for single line comment or where I have to go for multi-line comments. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment or I can go for multi-line comment. Just take down this task, write one sample program to illustrate single line comment. Just take down this task, write one sample program to illustrate single line comment. Find the error in the following program. Just take down this task, find the error in the following program. So there is one more type of comment. It is called as a documentation comment. Whenever I'm going to write some large programs for a project or a software application, so I can go for this documentation API. So I want to know what are the different methods used in the program. So what is the use of different type of methods? So in such cases, I can go for documentation comment. So all these are the different types of comments used in Java. So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment, or I can go for multi-line comment, or I can go for documentation comment. So this is an example of documentation comment. You can see here. So what are the input parameters? I can go for this. Clear with this? So based on my requirement, I can go for single line comment, or I can go for multi-line comment, or I can go for documentation comment. So for example, what are the different parameters? For example, I am developing a website for a student organization, or I am developing a website for, say for example, hospital management system. So I want to list down. So what are the different methods used in my program? And what is the use of all those methods? Say for example, I have different user defined functions in my program. So what is the use of each and every type of user defined function? So I can go for this kind of documentation comment. So from this you can understand it list outs. So what is the use of these variables? What is the student name, age of the student? Or I can go for different types of comments. Say for example, when I'm going to create some methods, so I can understand just by looking at this comment, I can understand. So what is the use of, what are the different variables used in the program, and what is the use of different types of functions. Say for example, it is going to compute the annual pay of an employee, and what are the different things, what is the annual sales in a company. So what are the different methods used in my program? So in such cases, just by looking at this, I can understand, just understand without reading the code when a layman is going to come in. So just by looking at this documentation comment, it is going to give me a brief history of what are the different methods used in my coding. So that is the main use of going for this documentation comment. Clear with this? So based on my requirement, I can go for any of these comments. So if I want to go for single line comment, I can go for single line comment. If I want to go for multi-line comments, I can go for multi-line comments, or I can go for documentation comment. Clear with this? So what are the different types of comments? So all these are the different types of comments used in Java. With this, I am just stopping today. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me. I hope I am clear with my topics. I gave you an introduction to classes and objects and what is the use of comments. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for Java Full Stack Internship Program JFSMC2. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for Java Full Stack Internship Program JFSMC2. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, You will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving the internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. If you have any doubts, you can post your queries in the comment section. Remaining things, I will just continue in my next videos. Thank you all.